And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here. You know, it really makes our day when you call us, you reach out to the hotline, you talk to our expert contributors, and you really contribute, and you're part of our radio family here in Tampa Bay. We really appreciate that. So reach out to the hotline. You can go to our website as well. Any questions you have, consumerqb.com. Submit the links right there. An email comes right through the website. We greatly appreciate everybody that engages with us and the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win in your real estate deals if you're buying, selling, investing. And we got our next party coming up, Dave. We always have a monthly gratitude party, business mixer, happy hour get-together coming up. Crown and Bull, May 22nd, Thursday, May 22nd, Dave.
Yes, it is, May 22nd. That's actually the fourth. That's the fourth Thursday of this month.
Yep.
So Thursday, May 22nd, 6 p.m. at Crown and Bull downtown Dunedin, right downtown Dunedin, as a matter of fact.
Great location.
Yeah, 319 Main Street. So there's going to have live music there at this one. It's going to be a fantastic event. The ambiance there is really great. It's always a great time to get the show contributors, the experts, get them to just mingle and network with each other. All the time, people calling in, asking questions. It's a great time just to show up and meet them. And, of course, the appetizers are taken care of by the MVP team, of course. So come on down. It's going to be a great time.
Come on out and join us. Live music. We might see Dave dancing out there. Who knows?
Yeah,
possible.
I checked it out. Did some recon over there yesterday. They took out the poll, so probably not.
Okay. There you go. All right. Good stuff. Yeah. So you're invited. Our audience is invited. So that's kind of unique about radio shows. We have a monthly party like that, and you're able to come and join us. So we appreciate everybody that comes out and joins us there. And we've got Alan Gustafson joining us. Gustafson, construction law attorney, Herman Wells. We're going to talk construction law. I love these niches. I love, the legal profession. I almost became an attorney before I, went into the career. I went into, of course, real estate and mortgage, radio. But I love law. I love the law because that's the rule book you have to play by. So we're going to talk with Alan about some of the niches that we have in construction law. By the way, construction law, the construction industry contributed about 5.7% of Florida's gross domestic product, GDP, which was $1.7 trillion in Florida. Again, the construction industry. That translates to about $97 billion in construction-related output. So we're going to talk about that, some of the ins and outs there with that industry and that business. Before we do, a couple of hot listings here. We always like to feature our real estate listings live on air. Our strategy works. It helps us sell our listings faster for more money, maximizing the exposure and the profit with less headaches, of course, for our sellers. 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida. Another massive price improvement. This property is now $2.75 million. Got to get the new flyer, but that one's $2.75 million. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 3,500 square foot. Exclusive Bel Air Beach location, gorgeous 3-island kitchen with Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 linear feet of water frontage on a deep water canal with access to the Gulf of America. Bring your boats, bring your jet skis, enjoy that Florida living to the fullest. And right around the corner, just one block down to beach access, you've got the dolphin-filled waters and sugar sand beaches of beautiful Pinellas County. Another hot listing here at 16625 Goose Ribbon Place, Waimama. This one's down in Hillsborough County. Southern listening audience there. 322 Smart Home, 1844 square feet. Smart Home, beautiful technology. You have a nice lanai there. And I just love the community here. Some of these beautiful communities with the lagoon. I mean, check out that lagoon. The kids would love to play there every weekend. The friends of the kids are going to want to come over and play, and they're going to be the popular house in the neighborhood. So 16625 Goose Ribbon Place, Waimama, beautiful property, beautiful curb appeal, and a great opportunity. You also have volleyball courts, nature trails, dog park, and a vibrant clubhouse. You can see all of our real estate listings, and if you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, check out our website, platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Only in America, dreaming in red, white, and blue.
All right, Alan joining us in studio. Alan Gustafson, construction law attorney, Herman Wells, helping you recover. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you for having me, Brandon. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Let's start with a little overview, construction law, and a little bit of your background.
Sure. I'm a construction law attorney and partner at Herman Wells. We are a construction law firm. We handle everything from soup to nuts, but our specialty or our focus really is construction defect litigation. And so we handle construction defect claims for owners, for groups of owners, for condominium associations, homeowner associations that have large construction defect claims, for owners of luxury or custom homes that are dealing with construction defect claims, or for owners who are having just large construction issues, leaky roofs, leaky windows, bad stucco, and grading issues. That is our bread and butter.
Yeah, because your normal real estate attorney that's handling real estate closings or litigation between landlord tenant, that's not this. This is something completely different. It's a very unique niche.
Exactly. Yeah, we do not get involved on the development side of things or in the real estate. We're not real estate attorneys. We are construction attorneys. So we help people from soup to nuts, from contract reviews. I always tell people if you have a custom home or a luxury home, why would you use a form contract for that? So
right.
We help people review their contracts. We help people with construction defect claims, and occasionally people do get into payment disputes, lien disputes, and we help them with those as well. Yeah, imagine. And there's common construction defects. It says roofs. You got stucco, windows. I know balconies are an issue a lot of times. Those balconies seem to be a big area of construction defects, and that's essentially when the builders they want to kind of lean on call your insurance company, file a claim, but it's like no, it wasn't a rising water event. It wasn't a rain event or related to a hurricane. It was just defects. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if there wasn't a named storm or there wasn't a casualty, and you've got leaky roofs and leaky windows, and you've got construction issues, you want to get somebody out there to look at it as quickly as possible before it becomes a bigger issue.
One of the other things I've found too is when you're working with home inspectors like we do, Jay Smith, A Snoop Inspection, and also Barrel Engineering is a partner of the show. I've known Leo for years. But when you're taking a case, when you're going to a trial or at least filing the lawsuit, you have to have an actual engineer, not just a home inspector. Yeah.
The sooner you get an engineer out there to look at the potential construction defect, the better. Barrel and all of the you want to use an actual licensed engineer like Barrel Engineering. Yeah,
because that's going to be something that's going to stand up in court. It's going to be an expert witness, and then we also work with Jason Avery Construction, home remodeling. He's told me before he goes into court and he has to be an expert witness in those cases, dealing with what was the causation of this issue. What is the potential for damages? What is the cumulative amount of cost here? Because it can add up quickly.
Oh yeah. When you're dealing with interior water damage, it can really add up quickly.
Yeah, exactly. So if you just joined us, by the way, we're talking with Alan Gustafson, Herman Wells, PA, hermanandwells.com. You can check him out online, hermanandwells.com. He's a local attorney right here in Pinellas County, construction law attorney. And again, it's a very unique niche. That's what I take great pride in with the Consumer Quarterback Show. August will be 12 years now, and we've explored a lot of different niches. And this is an interesting niche because I think more and more people are facing this. Matter of fact, Governor DeSantis recently signed a bill into law, 623 HB 623, creating a new section of Florida statutes which requires builders to provide a 1-year warranty for all newly constructed homes. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, please, there, Alan?
Sure. Yeah. Governor DeSantis just signed this new law into effect. It takes effect on July 1st of 2025. It's only for newly constructed homes. So if you're doing a renovation project, remodeling, or something like that, or if your home was finished before July 1st of 2025, this is not going to help you. But for newly constructed homes after July 1st of 2025, there's now a statutory warranty. So the builder has to give the homeowners and the actually subsequent homeowners too a warranty that covers material construction defects, and it's a 1-year warranty. It runs from the date of the original conveyance of title to the initial owner, or after the date of initial occupancy, whichever comes first. And so if you buy a home after July 1st, 2025, you've got this 1-year warranty. So, it's going to be very important to not only have your home inspected before you close, but also you're going to want to now get one of those engineers and schedule them to inspect your home before that 1-year warranty runs,
right?
And to do a really thorough inspection, because there's so many times where you live in a home, everything looks great for the first 6 months, you got that new paint, it looks wonderful. And then before you know it, 6 months, a year down the road, you start seeing some of the telltale signs that you may have some construction defects. So if you buy a home after July 1st, 2025, you want to make sure that you calendar that 1-year deadline and get an experienced engineer out there to inspect it before the deadline runs.
Yeah, it's a great point. Get that inspection done before you buy, because sometimes if you walk into the builder, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, these are great build." No, you want to make sure you have your own independent inspector. We recommend Jay Smith with a Snoop inspection, and then also at 11 months, go ahead and get it done at the 11 and a half month. And that way, right before that warranty's, about to expire, hey, what are the defects? Are there any defects? And hopefully not. Hopefully you don't have to go through some of the issues that you find. But it's definitely prevalent in our community, especially for some of these track builders. If custom builders are going to take their time, in a sense, mostly, talking in generalities here, because they're working with the homeowner. Typically it's a husband, wife. They're coming to check up on the job. I know we did. We check up on the job after hours, and luckily we caught a couple things with ours. It's like, wait, there's water coming into the house. What happened? Oh, well, there's a pipe that burst. Okay, well, good thing we came to the home and saw it. But before it turned into a bigger mess. So they're going to be more involved. But if it's a track built home, they're building one after the other in these big communities where you see the homes and they're very close together in a lot of cases. But you're seeing that there. It's just, hey, I'm turning and burning. I'm trying to build as many as I can. And I think sometimes that leads towards, things to be overlooked, or the pressure that might be put on those middle managers, et cetera.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. You can't rely on the builders and their inspectors. And a lot of times people say to me, my home had passed all the inspections. The permits were issued. Why can't I rely on the building officials? The building officials, they do a good job. They do the best job they possibly can do, but they're not looking. They're only coming at periodic times, and they're only looking at little snapshots of things. And they're also not doing any destructive testing or anything. And they've got sovereign immunity. So, they're doing the best job they can do, but you can't really rely on that. You have to have your own independent people to inspect your home, because your home's, for a lot of people, your home is your biggest investment. Yeah,
we're talking with Alan, Herman Wells, construction law attorney. Now, you just mentioned a word I want to make sure our audience knows: sovereign immunity. What does that mean?
Sovereign immunity basically means that the government and government officials have sovereign immunity, and they're protected. You can't really sue them individually.
Okay, individually, but could you bring a case against a municipality in a sense, or? I know it gets into a gray area there, right?
I would say the general rule is no, but there are some exceptions to it.
If it's gross negligence or something.
And there's a way that you can petition like the state, and there's a process that you can follow outside of my pay grade. But
there you go. Yeah, because I've heard that before, and it's an interesting place to be and to think about. By the way, interesting stat here in Florida. In Florida, approximately 67.3% of households own their homes. This means that about 2 out of 3 households in Florida are homeowners. Hey, that's great. I love that. People owning homes and building wealth, and they're going to have that ownership pride as a little bit more in most cases. Again, generalities than maybe a renter would. And then extra credit. West Virginia tops the list at 77% in percentage of homeowners versus renters. Ohio coming in third at 66%, and Michigan at 74%. Actually, Michigan's third, and Ohio would be fourth then.
Yeah, being from Ohio, we never like to put Michigan above Ohio.
But, I bet. I bet. But it's interesting to see. Speaking of football, it's going to be interesting to see with USF rebuilding. It's going to be a fun environment. I played on the inaugural team for the South Florida Bulls all those years ago, coming up on 30 years, I think. It's interesting to see how the landscape's playing out, and the Bucks had a pretty good draft, it seems, beefing up that secondary. So we're excited about that.
No, it's going to be a very exciting football season. I mean, the Bucks are looking good. My Ohio State Buckeyes, we'll see. It's a rebuilding year. But,
we picked up a receiver from there, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think this is the receiver. What was that, Todd?
Luka?
Yeah, he's a pretty good athlete.
He is a phenomenal number 2
Yeah.
receiver.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's ever actually been the number 1 receiver on Ohio State, which shows how loaded they are at wide receiver.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yep. That's a great team. All right, hey, quick break, right back. More with Alan Gustafson, Herman Wells, PA, construction law attorney here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Surfer conquered, feel-good story of the day. Surfer conquers biggest waves in the world despite having only one leg. We'll be right back here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rimes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon Rimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
Welcome back. Brandon Rimes here in studio with Alan Gustafson, Herman Wells, construction law attorney, Herman Wells, hermanwells.com. No N in the middle. It's hermanwells.com. A couple of hot listings, and we're going to jump right back into this construction law conversation here. 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard, another beautiful listing. This is just shy of $1 million. Motivated seller here. It's staged beautifully now. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2 half bath, and a 2-car garage. You have a Cape Cod inspired beautiful property here. Pool, spa, screened enclosure, pavers in the back, lighter color kitchen, and just a estate-style home. It's almost an acre of land, right at an acre of land. Gated community with lake access. Yeah, gorgeous. This is a rare gem at an excellent price. Check out 17416 Magnolia Island Boulevard in Claremont, Florida. Close proximity to Orlando and all of the theme parks over there. Great opportunity to buy real estate. 4798 Indigo Road in Groveland. This one is a large parcel, 42 acres of land that we've got listed, 42-acre investment opportunity, perfectly positioned in the heart of Groveland between Tampa and Orlando. Great opportunity. There's a 2-2 home there, perfect for the ideal weekend getaway or maybe a temporary base during development. I'm actually working with the owner, and we're kind of walking him through the process of potentially developing and increasing the density and seeing what we can build there. 4798 Indigo Road, Groveland, Florida. Another one of our beautiful listings, and you can see all of our real estate properties at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's right. Yeah, shout out to our military, our veterans. By the way, military recruitment is up big time as of late. Big time. So good stuff there. All right, construction defects. I wanted to get into this before we run out of time, Alan, because there's certain statutes, limitations, construction defects, dispute resolution as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important to remember that you only have 4 years to file an actual lawsuit for construction defects. If it's a latent construction defect, meaning it's a hidden construction defect, the 4 years, it doesn't start to run until the defect is discovered or should have been discovered. But then you have a maximum deadline. It's called a statute of repose, which is a maximum deadline of up to 7 years from basically the time that the work was completed. So if you see a construction defect or an issue, it's important to give somebody a call and jump on it as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't wait. Don't sit on that. And make sure you got to serve notice. And then you have this 558 form that comes in, right? And that's basically putting that contractor on notice. Hey, here's what we found. Here's our findings. Here's our estimations of repairs. And I'll let you describe it, of course, better than I can. No, 558 form.
You nailed it. I mean, there's a pre-suit dispute resolution process, like MedMal and a bunch of other areas of law have a similar dispute resolution process, and the goal is to try to resolve some disputes before you actually have to file the lawsuit. Because if you have to file a lawsuit, it's going to take right now about 18 months from the time you file a lawsuit to the time you actually see court
in Pinellas County. That's Pinellas or generality?
In general, all throughout now. We had some massive revisions to the civil rules of procedure this year, and now there's about an 18-month general track is what you're looking at. So if you can knock it out and you can resolve it beforehand, pre-suit, that would be ideal. But there's this process that we follow, and it's kind of nice because it's like the dance that everybody knows. And so we file. You serve the notice of claim on the general contractor and any responsible parties. For single-family homes, they have 30 days to inspect. They have 45 days to issue a written offer, or it can be a rejection too. But they can offer money, they can offer repairs, they can offer a combination of the two, or they can just say, "Oh, we don't think there's anything wrong." But at the end of the day, it gives the owners and the general contractor and the other responsible parties, and really their insurance companies, because there's insurance that's almost always behind the scenes here. We're almost always dealing with insurance. Right. And so it gives everybody an opportunity to get together and see if they can resolve it.
And even if that company went out of business, that insurance policy that was in place at the time, is that the way it's looked at?
Absolutely, yeah. We're talking about CGL policies, commercial general liability policies, which are occurrence-based policies. Mm-hmm. So if the defect occurred during the policy, there's probably still coverage.
Right. Okay, excellent. Yeah, that's great stuff, man. Recent success story, final thoughts. We're coming into the final leg here. Alan Gustafson, Herman Wells, PA, hermanwells.com, hermanwells.com. He's a partner at the law firm. Final thought, back to you.
Yeah, I mean, again, this to kind of go back to this dispute resolution process, I started off my career as a construction attorney. Well, I started off as an assistant state attorney, and after that, I've worked for construction firms that only represent condominium associations and homeowners associations. I was a partner at a large firm which represented builders and subcontractors, and now at Herman Wells we primarily represent owners. So I've kind of seen how all the different sides work,
right?
And I know how the insurance adjusters are evaluating their claims. So I try to make it as easy as possible and give them as much information as possible, and really use this. We've been really had some success recently using this dispute resolution process, getting the insurance adjusters what they need, getting experienced engineers out there to really evaluate the claim early on,
right,
and then making a run at trying to resolve these cases early and efficiently.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, good stuff. Thanks for coming in. Great nuggets of advice. Great overview of the construction law industry. Thanks for coming in, Alan. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll do it again. HermanWells.com. Check them out online. Coming up, we're going to have Mortgage Talk, Pioneer Mortgage Funding in the house. Aaron Scheets, Heather Cugno coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to talk about the real estate market, what we have in inventory, absorption rates, and inventory supply as well coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, feel good story of the day. Surfer conquers biggest waves in the world despite having only one leg. Feel good story coming up.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here in studio. Joining us are mortgage expert contributors from Pioneer Mortgage Funding. We've got Heather Cugno, also Aaron Scheets in studio with us. Joining us here in studio, we're going to talk about the real estate market, where we see interest rates going and what's happening out there. Also, different types of loans, investor loans, construction to perm, different types of government loans as well, and maybe some down payment assistance programs. Also, what we're seeing there. And I want to remind you as well, we got our event coming up at Crown and Bull Thursday, May 22nd. Join us over there. It's a free event. Come on out. It's a really cool restaurant, Crown and Bull, right there in Dunedin, Florida. Going to be on the 22nd, 6 p.m. We're going to have live music, and it's our networking, what we call our gratitude party from the Consumer Quarterback Show, and powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Quick shout out to Lee's Royal Services. Lee's Royal Services, he does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Lee and his team, residential, commercial cleaning. He's also handyman service. Lee'sRoyalServices.com. Lee'sRoyalServices.com on the interior of the property. On the exterior, talk to our friends over at Heights Soft Wash. I've known Ramin, the owner, for many, many years. HeightsSoftWash.com. HeightsSoftWash.com. Make sure you let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, a couple of hot listings here. I want to start with one of my commercial listings. This one's 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road in Ocala, Florida. We have a $1.5 million commercial property, 5,725 square feet. This one is on just shy of an acre lot, and you have multiple income streams coming in. Seller financing is available with a strong down payment, and it's offers generating multiple income generating opportunities here. So you have a thriving hardware store, lucrative income streams, 9594 Southeast Maricamp Road in Ocala, Florida. 7405 Dove Meadow Trail. This one is Dove Meadow Tail Trail, that is, in Lakeland, Florida. We have a opportunity to buy land, buy some dirt. You got 2.77 acres residentially zoned land in Lakeland, Florida, beautiful Polk County. You're 7 miles from historic downtown Lakeland, farmers markets, restaurants, boutiques, multiple parks on the way there. And you know, the strategic thing about Lakeland is you're right between Tampa and Orlando. What an awesome hub to be in. Buy some dirt, build on that property. Check out your zoning, see what you can build, and great opportunity there. 7405 Dove Meadow Tail Trail in Lakeland, Florida. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. All right, welcome in Heather Cugno. Welcome in Aaron Scheets. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in, guys. Tell us a little bit about your background, a little bit about Pioneer Mortgage Funding.
Well, go ahead, Aaron.
Ladies first.
I've been
okay.
I've been a mortgage broker for 20 years now. Worked for Pioneer for 15.
Nice.
And we're a mortgage broker based out of Tampa, Florida. And we have multiple programs that are available. We've got, 50 lenders, roughly?
About 70.
Is it 70 now? So we have multiple lender options. We work with a lot of real estate agents and first-time home buyers and different avenues. And
shopping for what you're doing. Explain the difference also between a lender and a broker. Heather, can you break that down? Because as a broker, you're shopping for the client's best scenario, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, look, the best way to kind of explain it, how I explain it to my clients is it's like shopping at Costco versus Publix.
Yeah.
So, we are a wholesale lender, so we get wholesale pricing. We work with 70 different lenders, approximately 70. So, there's really not many loans we can't do. I can't think of more than 2 off the top of my head that are not in our wheelhouse. But other than that, the pricing that we get is direct from lenders. So we don't have the same overhead that a retail bank would have.
Right.
Also another benefit of using a broker versus a bank is that we can think outside the box.
Yep.
Where at a bank, you are restricted to only the products that they have.
Right.
Conventional, FHA, and even in those boxes, they also have other overlays. So maybe your credit score is under 720 or under 640. Those would be declines at a bank versus at a brokerage.
Right. Yeah, and you're able to shop more effectively, Aaron. That's
More
what I like.
options.
I know we work a lot together, Aaron and I, on some of our deals. And number one, he's answering the phone all the time. He's helping out agents with open houses. Talk a little bit about that, the ability to shop those loans, find the best deals for those particular clients.
Yep. So what we do normally is we'll just shop around to the different lenders that we have and with the different options. We do a lot of working with the real estate agents, do their open houses with them on the weekends. We'll do some open house flyers, bring them with us too. And the main thing, like you mentioned before, is just being available all the time.
Yeah.
I offer 24 hours. So realtors know they can call me Sunday, Monday, doesn't matter what time. I'll pick the phone up. We can turn loans in 10 to 12 days usually from start to finish. And that's with an appraisal usually. And we're one of the best out there.
8 days a week, 25 hours a day, right?
Uh-huh.
That's how they expect it. A lot of the clients expect that. So if you just joined us, by the way, we're talking with Pioneer Mortgage Funding here in studio with us, Heather Cugno, Heather Cortez, and also Aaron Scheets, longtime friends of the show here, branch manager also as well, Pioneer Homegirls team. Talk to me a little bit about also, where you think the economy is going. That's a question I get a lot is, where are rates going to go? Where are we going to see things happening? I point to the inventory because this, the inventory here, these stats tell the story for us as real estate agents. So the latest Pinellas County stats show 8,200 active listings in Pinellas County. Now, this is non-distressed. This is, excluding the foreclosure, any very little foreclosure activity. 8,200 actives, 1,600 solds. That gives us a 19.5% absorption rate and a 5-month supply of inventory. So I call that a balanced market. It's it's pretty favorable to both. You got buyers that are pretty equal negotiation power, in other words, for sellers. So it's a balanced market right now. And then where do you see the market going, Heather?
Oh, that's
or
a
interest
loaded
rates.
question.
Yeah.
I mean, it changes literally hourly right now.
Yeah.
It does. So, based on the reports that have been coming out, I mean, we're again with the tariffs and there's just so much instability right now that the last 3 days rates have been trending down.
Okay.
So that is positive.
Yeah.
But it could just take a phone call or someone says something, and it's very unusual. Something that I have not seen in the last 10 years is where the market is being more dictated by what is happening via social media,
right,
via the news, versus what is actually really happening in the market.
Yeah.
So that is a little bit of an anomaly.
Yeah.
I personally haven't seen it in 10 years, but I'm not saying that it hasn't happened in the past, but over the last decade, I haven't seen that. So
yeah, I
would say rates are trending down. There are plenty of approved buyers right now, for sure. And there is a lot of inventory right now. There more than there has been, I would say, over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So the feedback that I'm getting from a lot of the my listing agents is that there's a lot of listings, but they're just not moving.
Yeah, exactly. Now. Builders are here filling it too. Here's a story I just pulled up this morning. Builders have the most unsold homes since 2009. These are the housing markets with deals. So it goes into that. But one of the builders, this Lennar CEO, is quoted as saying, "We do not see the seasonal pickup typically associated with the beginning of the spring selling season." So builders are offering incentives. Sellers are offering incentives. They're basically saying, hey, bring me an offer, and I'm going to give you concessions. I'm going to pay for your closing costs. I'm going to let you buy down the rate. How does that rate buy down work?
Go ahead, Aaron.
So we have options with interest rate buy downs. You have the 2-1, you have a 1-year buy down. There's multiple different options. It's usually done through a seller contribution is how you structure that. So you get with the agent, they do that up front when they're negotiating the deal. And it allows people to access lower rates. And my whole pitch to the client is, we can get you in a 4.75% rate right now. And then, once you usually have 2 years of that rate, and, rates should be in that ballpark in another 24 months where they can refinance into a straight 30-year fix at that point.
Right.
So
so the affordability factor, are you seeing that also, Heather, the affordability factor for some of your clients?
Well, sure. I mean, right now everything is times are just a little different. So we just have to be very creative and think outside the box and help the clients. What I find myself doing more now than ever is really helping my realtor partners and educate them on how to make the houses affordable for the clients. It might not necessarily mean, if we go into if they have a pre-approved buyer, we go in, and usually the first thing that I always hear from realtors is, we're just going to offer $50,000 less because this house has been on the market for a little bit. So it just takes a little bit of education and teaching them, well, hey, wait a minute. How about we go in at full price, but then we can ask for concessions on the back end, because that is where the client is going to benefit the most. Right. So typically for every $10,000 plus or minus on a purchase price, it only changes the mortgage somewhere between $60 to $70 a month. So I would rather my clients be paying $70 or $140 more a month, but get the $10,000 on the backside to cover all their closing costs.
Right.
So, and to or to also utilize those concessions for a temporary rate buy down.
Right.
So if I can get them, yes, we still have to qualify them at the higher interest rate, but if I can get them into a rate in the 4s for the first year of being, especially for first-time home buyers, get them into that feeling, and then. But they do, we have to set the expectation and go over with them, like, this is what your payment's going to be changing to. So.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So we're talking with Heather Cugno, Aaron Scheets on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Pioneer Mortgage Funding in studio with us. And when you think about, the market right now, and that's exactly right. When I think about, the way that I like to structure deals is, let's make it advantageous for that buyer to be able to afford it. For many, many reasons, because a lot of times, hey, look, let's face it, we came out of 4 years of a really terrible economy with inflation, record cost on groceries, record cost on a lot of things, right? So we need to help the buyers, and the affordability is a big deal. You think about police, fire, even medical, ambulance, people, students, or school teachers, they're on salaries. They didn't get an increase just because inflation went up. And they didn't get an increase because gasoline went through the roof. So we've got to figure out ways to make these homes more affordable, because the trends are, yes, we had record people moving into the state of Florida, and then what happened is the price went up for that regular 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot home. The price went up significantly, and we know, we've talked about this, Aaron, off air too. Certain area, little pockets in Dunedin, for example. I mean, it's a small house, and you're paying $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. So the affordability is key. So that's why I like to lean on those concessions that you were speaking about, Heather.
Yeah. I meant to tell you, your listing in Ocala for the commercial,
that's
a gem. Someone needs to swipe that up, because I do I would say I do a good mix, probably 50-50 investors and then just regular first-time or regular home buyers. But one of the hottest areas right now for my investors is Ocala.
Oh, yeah.
The housing market over there, first of all, you get land.
Yep.
You can get a brand new home. I would say $350,000 and under.
Yep.
Homeowners insurance in Ocala is under $1,000 a year and those are my investor, like the investor
non-occupied
quotes. Right.
Yeah.
So I would say on average the homeowners insurance is somewhere between like $60 to less than $100 a month.
Right.
And the property taxes are a little bit higher, but remember, for the first year, especially for the new construction homes, the property taxes will be considerably less, but going to the second year. But I would still say for that area, the taxes are going to be, $3,000 to $4,000. So you can get a brand new 3 to 4 bedroom house, out the door mortgage payment of, $2,500 or less. Yeah,
that's awesome. So the affordability. So in other words, what's happening is people are leaving densely populated counties or areas like Hillsborough, Pinellas, and they're going up to Pasco, Citrus. Yep. They're moving further north. And some people are even moving out of the state. They're going into South Georgia or the Carolinas for that affordability. So that's a big key point right now with insurances, as we saw last year. And what about the kind of the black swan out there of the state of Florida saying, hey, let's significantly reduce or possibly eliminate property taxes? That would be interesting to see if that could happen. I've interviewed Bernie Jocks. He's a state representative out of Largo. And he says, they're doing the studies, they're looking into it. I don't have that. I'm optimistic, but I don't think they're going to fully eliminate. I think maybe they can reduce, or especially for the people that have been in their home and every year it's going up. Let's cap that at some point, right?
I that would be wonderful. I would love nothing more than to have to pay property taxes on our house. However, I don't think it's reasonable. I think if they did, and I've had this conversation with my husband, I think if they increased the homestead exemption, and then capped, made the cap a little bit lower, maybe 1% versus 3%, but increased the homestead, that is doable. But I don't think, or increasing the taxes increasing tourism taxes would take a little less. But I don't see them completely eliminating.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a stretch to do that. All right, we got to take a quick break here. More with Heather and Aaron. Pioneer Mortgage Funding coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus our feel-good story of the day. Surfer conquers biggest waves in the world despite having only one leg. Feel-good story coming up. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Blue Moon Estate Sales of Pinellas County for all of your estate sale needs. BlueMoonEstateSales.com. Reach out to Jennifer. Tell her you heard about her here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. BlueMoonEstateSales.com. And stop by their store, the Blue Moon Store, at 1479 South Belcher in Largo. 1479 South Belcher in Largo. And that's BlueMoonEstateSales.com. SJ Movers and Junk Removal, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. 727-717-0846 for all your moving and junk removal. 727-717-0846. SJ Movers and Junk Removal. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon BRimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing, we would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon BRimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon BRimes here. Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing. Coming up, our feel-good story of the day. 1210 Paradise Lake Drive, Tarpon Springs. Here's another beautiful home. This is a $500,000 property. 1210 Paradise Lake Drive. Just down the road from the Tarpon Turtle, the beautiful restaurant there on the lake. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2-car garage, 2274 square feet. You have a beautiful pool in the backyard, fireplace, lighter color kitchen cabinetry, and stainless steel appliances. 1210 Paradise Lake Drive. Great opportunity to buy real estate, split floor plan, handicap, accessible as well. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country. Tell me something good.
All right, here's our feel-good story of the day. Peg Leg Bennett, born with a birth defect that led to amputation of his foot as a baby, has never let that stop him from pursuing his passion for surfing. Traveling the world to surf at famous big wave spots, he has represented his country in pair surfing competitions and pioneered prosthetic innovations for surfers. A coach and advocate for adaptive surfing, Bennett has helped grow the sport since the first adaptive surfing world championships in 2015, leading the Team New England to become the 7th ranked pair surfing team. His dedication to overcoming barriers and making surfing accessible for people with disabilities has inspired many. And although parasurfing narrowly missed the 2028 Paralympics, there is hope for its inclusion in 2032. All right, there you have it, our feel-good story of the day. We always like to have our feel-good stories there, tell you something good in this world, especially when you start talking about geopolitics and all that. It can tend to be a little bit negative, but that's one thing we like to do, feel-good story of the day here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, so let's have some final thoughts, nuggets of advice, words of wisdom, and consumer tips, as well. Consumer advocate tips is something we're really big on here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. Heather, any thoughts come to mind? Final thought?
For first-time home buyers, make sure you continue to have good credit behavior. That's that's going to be the first and foremost thing that I look at. But just keep in mind, especially for first-time home buyers that are employed with Florida State employers, the Hometown Heroes funds should start kicking in towards the end of June, beginning of July. So we can go ahead and start taking those applications now, getting everyone ready for that. And then once those funds are available, last year they lasted 6 weeks.
And what does that mean, Hometown Heroes? What do they get?
Hometown Heroes is a down payment assistance program, and they're eligible for up to 5% in down payment assistance funds.
Awesome.
So it's a great program, but again, it's only available to Florida residents, and you have to be employed with a Florida-based business. Florida-based business.
Yes. Okay, good stuff. Aaron Scheets, final thought. Back to you, man.
Yeah, just to touch on what Heather was bringing up regarding the down payment assistance, that the funds are coming around again for the Hometown Heroes, but they do go quick. So I'd recommend, getting in touch with us. Let's take a look at the credit, too, see if there's any issues there.
Yep.
And the good thing about being a mortgage broker, too, is we have access to every loan program that's available. FHA, VA, conventional. We have debt service loans, which are primarily investment programs.
That's great.
And just looking forward to 2025 being better, and things are really moving that direction right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Good stuff. And then so there's so many different pieces of the market to look at. You got investors that are still making money on flips because it's all on the buy side. And then you've got the Airbnb / short-term rental community. That's another area. Are you seeing that also, Heather, with people buying still and just saying, hey, I'm going to Airbnb this one out, or maybe long-term rent it?
Absolutely. I mean, I just closed one 2 weeks ago, too. She is a very seasoned, one of my very seasoned Airbnbers, and so she bought a new property for her photos. She's also a photographer, and it was gorgeous. So, but that'll be a Airbnb project, another one for her. So, there's those are different, set up differently, but we can still do those with investor loans, and usually with those investor loans, we can close those in 2 to 3 weeks or less.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we have a home staging company associated with the show, and Natasha, and they talk a lot about just getting creative with those Airbnbs, creating an attraction. The kids' room might have a bed that looks like a, dinosaur or jungle, right? A jungle theme. And then they've had, what was it one they had too, Dave? It was like dartboards on the walls, or the Velcro, Velcro wall. Yeah, Velcro wall where you play games inside. Just getting creative, because then now those pictures are going to pop on those websites, and people are going to pay a premium to rent those properties out, and you're going to have less vacancy with it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. All right, how do people connect with you? PioneerHomegirls.com, is that right?
Yep, so I run the Pioneer Homegirls branch. Our corporate offices and my office are located right at the corner of Platte and Bayshore, right across from Publix at 142 West Platte Street. And then our website is pioneerhomegirls.com.
And Aaron?
I work out of the corporate office as well.
Okay.
And then, I think you have my contact info.
Yep. Reach out to the show. We'd love to put you in touch. 813-917-1894. Call the hotline, and we'll get you in touch with the team. Pioneer Mortgage Funding. Don't support the big banks. Don't support the big banks that took the bailout money and all that. Support local. Support the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show. Purchasing, refinancing, investor loans, all different types of loans. 813-917-1894. Thanks for coming in. Enjoyed the conversation.
Yep.
And on the front end, also, we had Alan from Herman Wells as well, talking construction law with him. So, hey, we want you to go out there and make it a great day. Please consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback. Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.